bouncy, groovy, offbeat bass lines, which are perfect for middle parts so that the whole crowd is jumping on your track. So let's have a look at this groovy bass line. And it's actually pretty easy. So first of all, we have a bass line here, and I resampled this bass line to the synth here. If you're interested in that, I can make a tutorial on that. Let me know in the comments. And then I EQ'd it a bit and added a little bit of phase correction so that everything sounds really nice with the kick together. But the main thing I actually wanted to show here is the pattern, and it's quite simple, and it gives this kind of like offbeat thing, this offbeat rhythm, because we place the notes kind of like in the offbeat position, and it makes this bump a bump a bump a bump bump thing. So check this out. It's actually quite simple. Our normal bass line, our rolling bass line, looks like this. So we have like 3 notes, and one of these notes is kind of like lower in velocity. So it looks like this, and it sounds like this. And from here, we just drag one note a little bit longer. So the key for this, that it works, is that your filter is kind of like opened up long enough. So you will need to have a bass patch which has like enough sustain here. Because if you lower the sustain too much, then basically your decay, because the notes are longer, will go down all the way, and then your filter is maybe too close to make it sound nice. So if it sounds kind of like muffled, then just increase the sustain level here, and that should be working. So the next thing which we'll need to do is to make kind of like this long note. So I usually leave like the same gap here in the end for the release time of the bass, so that when we kind of like release the note, there's still like the envelope going down to 0. So we still have audio signal there, and so that it doesn't kind of like leak into the kick. And from there, it's actually quite simple. So we will just define a pattern, and you can use like different notes in the pattern. So you can, for example, also go up. So check this out here. And you can also use the first note, which goes together with the kick. So a kick is here, and this is the note from the rolling bass line which falls together with the kick, so you can use this as well. And then you can make like a nice little pattern. So you could add like also more of those notes depending on, and you can build a groove of a mixture of these notes which we have from the rolling bass lines and the long notes, or just the long notes, which give you more that offbeat feeling. And you can basically change the pitch of all those. So if you want to make it like a little bit more interesting, so let's check this out. If you want to start improving your music production big time, then there's a new round of the blueprint coming in September. So there will be new seats available, but it's quite limited. So I put up a waiting list. Because not everybody can join. If you are interested in that, then you can join the waiting list, and you can also have a look at the first 3 lectures on how to organize you and how to work in the course. All you need to do is to leave your email address, and you can do this by clicking the link in the description box below. It will lead you to my website where you can enter your email address, and then once you have entered, you're on the waiting list, and I send you all the material. And the program is really cool because I go in detail with my students. So everybody sends me their projects. I open the project, I tweak the project, I rework the project every week, and I make an extensive video feedback, because feedback is the most important thing you can get in order to develop your music and your style. And I'm really making the effort to give you the best possible feedback and explanations I can give you to bring you forward in your music. And I added like a little glitch here by just like making smaller notes here and there. Then a little thing I want to note here is that the notes which are higher have a little bit less velocity so that they fit from the volume. So I do this by ear, kind of like leveling it and see that it sounds good. They can be a little bit louder than the other notes, but you wanna kind of like pitch them a little bit down, and vice versa if you use notes which are lower in pitch here. And if you are really deviating from the pitch, sometimes you even need to kind of like add a different processing to those notes, but in most cases I actually don't do it. It works like this. And once I have this finished, then I will bring it to audio. And the reason is, and in that case, I didn't use like the linear phase EQ, I used the natural phase. But if you have, for example, use a linear phase EQ, then maybe you have some pre-ringing here in your bass. Sometimes the bass is really late, so I think this is kind of like nothing yet. So if we wanted, we could still move it like a little bit ahead in time so that it runs like perfectly here. So let's shorten this a bit. And by the way, you just get this by freezing it, or if you want to have it more clean, then you can route it here and record the notes separately, so that you switch, for example, this one off and record this one, and then you switch the other one off and record the other one, and then you chop it together in audio. So that's, in my opinion, the cleanest way actually you can go. And then I would always use the audio version, because audio for me is always the final choose, because here there's like no surprises in this. And if you want, you can find like a cool drum rhythm. So for example, I thought this like breakbeat thing could also fit it and could be nice if you have like a longer like middle section, and you could start with the kick and bass, with the raw kick and bass, and then maybe in the second part add, for example, this drum groove here. And if you want to complexify this, then we could, for example, also make the drum groove also glitch, so that we have this a little bit more consistent here. So we could do something like, and then it's maybe a little bit cooler, or you can manipulate the pitch and stuff. Here I didn't do much, I just quantized it on beats mode, so that everything is on time. Usually I also do this by hand, because it's a little bit smoother than if you quantize it with Ableton. Also, you see it's not perfect, so we would still need to adjust some of those to really make it fit. And another thing you can do sometimes on this drum loops is that you adjust like the clip gain like a little bit. I think I accidentally hit here the mixer track volume, but I would usually do it here in clip gain. Anyway, so this was like a little bit loud, so I made like a little fade here to make it really like fit together with the kick and bass, so that it doesn't kind of like overpower it at some points. I hope this inspired you, and there's actually many ways how you can go about this. So for example, you could also do something more crazy where you have maybe this, let's say like this alternating pattern here. So just to give you a little outlook how far you can actually go, it's just kind of like the rhythm, which is a little bit the restriction, so that you get off this rolling thing and into more like a bouncy thing. And from there you're really free to add like notes, to add like glitches, to add other cool stuff. You could add like glides and portamento, and if you want to know more about that, I have a video up here which you can watch next.